Kalau gini payah kita susah ngelah cari makan pun susah benar.
The Selangor Valley, home to Malaysia's Orang Asli, or original people, for countless generations. Now, a way of life that has remained virtually unchanged for centuries is threatened. The building of a massive dam will flood their villages and the surrounding rainforest.
I sing about the difficulties we face, people taking our land, people flooding our rivers. Finding food is already difficult. Our tears are falling, our hearts are heavy.
Nearly 1,000 hectares of forest will be submerged by the new reservoir. It'll help meet the increasing demand for water in Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur, some 65 kilometres to the south. Nearly 400 people in 2 Orang Asli villages will be forced off their land. They cannot envisage leaving the river. It's at the very heart of life here. While their parents worry about the future, the children play without a care in the world. Material objects mean little to the Orang Asli. They believe the tree spirits and dragons have made them guardians, not the owners of the forests and mountains. Such animist beliefs don't chime with the country's overwhelmingly Muslim population. The villagers suspect the dam is part of the official policy to assimilate the Orang Asli into mainstream culture. They've been offered compensation for relocation, but claim similar promises haven't been honoured in the past.
With the dam scheme hanging over us, we don't feel free because of the problems that arise from it. It looks like the plans are just an excuse, when in truth the government just wants to take the land which belongs to the Orang Asli, land which we clearly own.
The area through which the Selangor River and its tributaries meander is rich in wildlife. A staggering 200 bird species have been recorded, said to be nearly half the total in the whole of Europe. In the forest live endangered mammals like the panther and the tapir. There's an incredible range of plants, including rare species of orchid and other vibrant flowers. Searching for bamboo in the forest is one of the things the Orang Asli depend upon for their livelihood. The cut poles are often carried out over long distances. From an early age, village boys learn how to handle a parang and to cut a path through the jungle. They're also taught to hunt using techniques passed on down the ages. Back in the villages, bamboo is split into tiny pieces and sold to make joss sticks. Though the work is demanding and poorly paid, Jaya Tanduk cannot bear the thought of uprooting. He supplements his income by picking fruit and is reluctant to leave behind the trees which have been cultivated in the forest for years.
We hope we'll be able to plant all sorts of trees like mangoes and rambutans, all sorts when we move. Let's just see if we can get the ones that we ourselves will benefit from when we're relocated. That's what we hope for. We'll just gather as many trees, including the old ones, as we can, as long as we can carry on the agricultural practices passed down from our ancestors.
Tanduk and his wife earn barely enough to support their 5 children. They feed the family on whatever can be harvested from the forest. Others have found a new source of employment in recent years, working as boatmen on whitewater rafting trips. With ecotourism booming in Sungai Selangor, several tour operators have set up in the area. Now their future too is threatened. The businesses have joined forces with environmentalists and Orang Asli leaders to campaign against the dam. For now, tourists from Kuala Lumpur can experience the thrill of the rapids. It's not a day they'll soon forget. The city dwellers who enjoy getting back to nature are the very ones for whom the government is building the dam. In 1988, the capital experienced months of water rationing because of a drought. Critics say it was simply the result of poor planning, mismanagement and leakage. Rafting operator Ruben Gan is involved in the protests and petitions opposing the dam. He discusses with his employees the next step in the campaign. As a former civil engineer, he's angry that the authorities have dismissed less environmentally damaging alternatives to a dam, such as a pipeline.
Dams were fashionable 20 years ago. Today, everybody's dismantling dams. The only country building dams now are third world countries. They're not using modern technology because it's quick money. They don't need many companies to handle it, not many people to answer to, and it's really easily handled by government to contractor.
Kuala Lumpur has the modern skyline the country's long-standing Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad was determined to achieve. Building firm Gamuda is involved with state authorities in constructing the dam. The company has benefited from the drive to develop the country. They've met opposition from a wide range of groups. The World Wildlife Fund believes only by preserving the forests can a sustained and pure water source be guaranteed in the future.
The biggest disappointment for me, and of course for our organization as well, is that the area behind where the dams built the forest, which supplies water, is not protected in some way to make it less accessible to people just go in there, to make it less accessible to people to go in and log the area, things like that, and to just, in a sense, appreciate it for what services it provides you in terms of giving you that water, and you get the beautiful wildlife for free.
Even before the authorities had considered all the environmental reports about the site of the dam, heavy machinery was moved in to clear the area. Opponents say it's further evidence of the government's determination to push ahead with the project and to meet the completion deadline of 2004. The environmentalists believe the authorities have ignored claims the area may be geologically unsafe and that further logging will only add to the existing risk of landslides. There's also concern that a huge reservoir will increase the spread of waterborne diseases such as malaria and Japanese encephalitis to the local population. This is a meal for 12 members of one Orang Asli family. As they eke out a living, millions of US dollars will be spent creating a 115-metre-deep reservoir which will engulf their home. It will, though, provide plentiful water to other families who live in the country's capital and have faced rationing in the past. Opponents of the dam say it's a short-term answer that will have damaging long-term consequences. They believe the government will only ever meet the demands of a growing population by looking to other methods of supply. The Orang Asli have most to lose from the scheme. They're worried about leaving behind their homes and their whole way of life. They don't yet know to where they'll be relocated and whether they'll be able to continue living off the forest. Many believe their communities will become splintered in the move. But most of all, they're worried about awakening the dragons they believe will punish them for failing to protect the land.